Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, the weekly podcast about video games with news, reviews, analysis, and opinion. Keeping you up to date on how to wisely spend your money for video games, movies, RPGs, comics, books, and more for over 16 years. Find us online at Gamersledge.com. And now, your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. Come on in, sit down, have yourself a giant glass of Orange Crush in a purple mason jar. Sit down, relax. It is a look at the video gaming industry, a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer, and a conversation between friends. Joining me this week, starting all the way on my far left, the man, the myth, the legend, although I can't say his name, Toad Monkey.
Hooray,
Hello.
That's me. Hi.
Also joining us, the stoic one himself, the man no longer from Philadelphia, Dave.
Oh.
Also joining us all the way from the well-lit.
Thank you very much.
Also joining us from the well-lit Great White North, Kate.
It's my kitchen.
And also joining us, the man who basically said I'm an idiot before the show, Matt.
Oh, you said it. I just agreed with you.
Well, it's been quite the week. GDC going on this week. We're going to recap some of that information when we get to the news. But let's talk about what we've been doing this week very quickly. Turo, we'll start with you. What have you been up to? What have you been playing this week?
Still been playing a lot of Pokemon. Like I said, I'm 2 away from actually catching them all. And the 2 that I need, I just need to trade somebody to get them. They're those kind of Pokemon. And Sammy won't get off her butt and catch, dumb Pokemon just so I can trade those 2 real quick. Or get on your butt to get on it, yeah. So those are the only 2 I'm missing, and then I have them all. So I finally did it. It took me 350 hours.
So what are you going to do once you actually collect them all?
Once that happens, I think I'm going to put them, I'm going to put them in the Pokemon Bank and just hold on to them. Any Pokemon that I have that Sammy doesn't have, I'm either just going to throw them in the Wonder Trade that are rare and just be like, here you go, I don't need them. So it'll be fun surprises for people to get those. And then I have Sapphire, which I heard the story is going to be awesome in it, especially since they put the Emerald or Delta episode in there, and they kind of put Emerald in there as a remake. And it should be fun. And plus, getting the Redstone, or the Red Orb, the Blue Orb, for Kyogre and Groudon so they can go into Primal State. Just getting all the cool stuff so they can all have the awesome...
And when you get all 7 of them, you can summon the dragon, right?
Well, I already have it. Rayquaza's already done. I already got that one.
Nice.
But yeah, that's that and caught up on TV shows. And, yeah, oh, no, I did not watch the new... Agents of Shield, so I will be watching.
Oh my God!
I'll be watching that tonight. I couldn't. I haven't had time to watch it, and but I did finish Gotham yesterday, so that was awesome. And that's it.
Dave, how about you? What have you been up to this week?
Haven't been playing anything. It's been very busy around the house. I've been painting the baby's room, things like that. So I haven't had too much time. I got a little chance tonight to catch up on Gotham and Star Wars Rebels. That had I guess that was a season ender.
Yeah, that was. I haven't watched it yet, but it was the season finale.
Yeah, wow. It was yeah. I like that. I like that show. It's been steadily getting better,
Which is good because it didn't start out that great.
Shut up. So but it ended on a pretty high note, I think. So they're doing a good job with that. Gotham was great. I didn't actually catch Shield yet. I was kind of saving that as my last one because I know that's probably going to be the one I'm really going to enjoy the most. So I'm saving that one. Didn't get a chance to play too many games. They did send me Avengers Legos. So we got Hulkbuster, Iron Man. We have this guy. Who knows who this is?
They sent you, or you exchanged monetary quantities for said items?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that, okay. I was wondering what hookup you got, but...
They said, well, no, I asked them on their website, I said, could you please send me all these? And they said,
Here's all my money.
and they said, sure. And because I'm already signed in to everything, I don't have to put in information again. So that seems like it works out well.
Just because you don't enter information again doesn't mean you aren't purchasing it.
Yeah. I met Adam Hughes. He's a comic artist, and he signed a variant cover of Gwen.
Spider-Gwen?
Yeah, Spider-Gwen. So that's pretty cool. I actually got one for Matt. So he's going to be getting one as soon as I can get to a post office. So that was pretty cool. Nice little hour trip to a comic shop, and I found Ratchet and Clank Mini-Mates there, so I had to get those.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. Just a random, I just happened to be looking. Yeah, people are typing stuff. What else? Just freaking out over the new Avengers trailer. I love that. I really would just want to watch that over and over again, so if we can get this
That
wrapped
is
up
the
quick.
last one I am watching. Last one. No more. Not watching anymore. That's it. No more.
I don't think they're going to come out with any more. I think that'll
I
be
think
the last
that is
bit.
the last one.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
the
there'll
last
be
trailer
a bunch
before.
of TV
They'll do
trailers and
like
stuff.
TV spots and whatnot, but that seems like a big one to just have you ready for the movie.
Yeah, I think I read that was actually the final trailer, before the movie. So it's enough. It's good for me. I like it.
Kate, how about you?
Well, caught up on shows. I haven't put up my review of Face Off yet because I'm busy and haven't typed it yet. I was super excited for this week's episode though because it was like Clive Barker one, and you all know how big a Clive Barker fan I am. Put up my review of Gotham. Didn't watch Agents of Shield. I did do something that was long overdue since I just recently got the PS4. I played PT, and
Ooh,
Yay! That was good.
I finished it in 10 minutes
Oh.
Wait, with
Yeah.
guide or without?
without. My
Okay, no, wait a
Silent
minute.
Hill, my Silent Hill fundamentals are through the roof. I was talking to someone who had played it, but he wasn't really helping me. There was one time he helped me where it's like you hear the kids start laughing. He's like, "Okay, stand still." That's the only time he helped me.
So wait a
swear
minute.
to God.
Okay, because I finished it, and I had to consult because I couldn't find one of the collectible things, and it's one of those stupid puzzles where you have to open the pause menu. So you're telling me you found that on your own?
Yep.
All right, you win. You win the
Like I
internet,
said,
Al Gore.
My Silent Hill fundamentals are superb because PT is basically having to look at the same shit over and over and over again to like get it to change, and that's what I do in the games anyway. Like I spend so much time in my first playthrough just walking around looking at stuff because in Silent Hill, like there's so much extra stuff in the background, right? That's just true fundamentals of the game. That I was like, is it over? And the guy's like, my friends were like, you just did a perfect playthrough. And I was like, but nothing happened, because when you do a perfect playthrough, nothing happens. So I purposely had to go back and play it again and screw up so I could see the scary stuff, which was kind of funny. So I actually like didn't get the, oh my god, so scary at all. I was just like, oh, it's over.
Awesome.
And
Anything else?
yeah, I played some Dragon Age Inquisition. I was going to beat it, but then I decided to just try and do a few more side quests and stuff, because I want the Dorian Iron Bull romance to pop in party conversation. And I'm so close to it, but it still hasn't happened, so most of my time is just doing, like, last little piddly quests, maybe fighting a dragon or two, and just standing around, waiting for my party to start talking. So once that happens, I'm going to go do because I have the final battle, like, on the final mission on the war table, so I'm just waiting for that to happen, and then I'll go and finally beat that game. I do have the order on my hard drive. I haven't started it yet, though, because I wanted to finish Dragon Age first. And I've also been playing some Dead or Alive last round. We will get to that later.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then, Matt, how about your week?
Game-wise, pretty much the only thing I've gotten in is been playing. My son actually made his first game purchase on the PSN, and he bought the Dynasty Warrior Gundam Reborn. So I've actually been playing that because smashing giant robots by the thousands is therapeutic. And for some reason, Gundam makes Dynasty Warrior just makes sense to me. You know, it makes sense to be in a giant robot smashing other giant robot suits. So that works for me. Otherwise, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Fat Princess Piece of Cake off and on. I'm caught up on most of the show. Well, not Arrow and not Flash. I think I'm caught up on everything else.
No, you're caught up on
Rebel.
Flash. There wasn't a new one this week.
Yeah.
There still wasn't a new one this week on Flash?
Nope.
Correct.
Okay, I thought that was just last week. All right, so I'm caught up on Flash then. So just not Arrow. Doopy-doopy-doopy-doo. Yeah, I guess it's been a pretty boring. I've actually made a significant dent in my stack of comics. Not done, but made a significant dent.
Burning them or selling them for stacks of money?
Burning them for heat.
Yeah, burning them from heat because it can't decide to ever get above single digits for more than a day at a time.
We're getting snow again tomorrow.
Oh, goody. That means we'll
40
get snow in a couple days then.
We got another 8 inches today, or something like that.
All I have to say is Italy is going to be 75 degrees and sunny.
And you're going to shut up.
It's
So-
supposed to be
You're
up to
gonna
like
get
50
kidnapped
by
by
Monday.
drug lords there, because that's what happens in Italy.
I'm sorry, you're thinking of Mexico.
You're
Not
thinking of
Italy.
take it.
Oh, no, he's right. I was thinking of Mexico. I get them confused all the time because the food's the same.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
No, that's not it.
You've got the right hairdo for that comment, let's just say.
Yeah, all right.
Dude!
Oh my god.
All right, Nick snuck in right under the line there. Nick, tell us about your week.
Not a whole lot of new. My dad came up this weekend, so I lost quite a bit of game time on that end. Obviously Destiny, but I got new exotic. I got Monte Carlo. So, and I finally pulled a Vista Defiant from Throw to Hard today. So, it's a good Tuesday. Caught up on Flash apparently. Haven't checked today. I'm up to date on Glee. Don't judge. Played DOT. Trying to figure out what else. I haven't played a whole lot. I'm trying to get back into Pokemon. I have my team and I want to get my Crobat back up to its maximum par. So I saw something recently. What did I see? Oh, that was musical. Never mind. Not a whole lot on my end. Just more
All right.
Destiny. So
Let's see. So gaming's been light for me this week as well, because if you haven't noticed, we have 1,000 billion cosplay videos up on the site. So if you haven't checked those out, please do. Lots of work, but a lot of fun. We posted those over the weekend, but it took me pretty much all of last week and this weekend, and I actually finished around Monday evening somewhere, and then immediately had to leave for a trip somewhere, and then I'm back for tonight and tomorrow morning, and then leaving for a trip again. That being said, there will be some changes to the site in about 2 weeks, and we will announce those in 2 weeks. But we've got some exciting things to announce on that front. I actually did, and I haven't even had a chance to talk about this with Matt or anyone else, I did get a sneak peek to play a game early this week, and that is a game coming to PS4 called The Darkest Dungeon by Red Hook Studios. If you're not familiar with it, it is a roguelike RPG, and what I mean by that is it's procedurally generated dungeons, but it's a side-scrolling RPG in that you have 4 party characters, and where you are in the order affects what attacks you can do. But the big thing is that while you're in the dungeon exploring, the psyche of your characters actually comes into play. So if a monster lands a critical hit on one of your guys, they might actually start to stress out, and the more they stress out, it affects their abilities in combat, and they can even reach a breaking point where they either decide to man the fuck up or freak the fuck out. And it's actually super engaging. There's tons of stats. It's one of those games that you can just pick up and play, and it's no big deal, but there is permadeath. So if your character dies, that's it. They're dead. There's no bringing them back. You can always get new ones, but then you start them over at level 1 again, and it's very easy to play, but very deep systems to get involved with. When you take your people that are stressed back to town, you can have them go drink or go to the whorehouse or have them go to a church to relieve stress. Seriously. And then people will get phobias to where you can only relieve their stress by having them gamble, or only relieve their stress by having them go to the whorehouse, or only have them relieve their stress by praying to God. Or you do that over and over again, and then the person that's praying in the church sees one of the clergy do something unforgivable and says, I will never go back and pray at that church again. It's like there's all these just little minute details that are really, really good. This game is going to be something super special, and it's going to be coming out on the PSN later this year. So it's called The Darkest Dungeon.
Subtitled Babysitting Badasses.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I like the permadeath on RPG thing. Because very rarely when you die in an RPG, you're like, oh, Phoenix down. Whatever. But permadeath in an RPG is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's really great. I mean, I lost a couple. I finally got this one character. He had these cool attacks, and I was doing fine. Like, I was just massacring everyone. And then one critical hit to that guy who was my healer. He got stunned and couldn't do anything for a turn. And then it was like everybody ganged up on him, killed him, and then it was a war of attrition for my other characters until they died. And I lost my entire party. I'm like, son of a bitch. But that was also because I didn't understand some of the mechanics. But I got to play about 6 hours with it, and so I was pretty impressed with what I saw. So that's coming out soon. I think it's supposed to be somewhere around this summer. So keep an eye out for it. Darkest Dungeon. Coming to PlayStation 4. That's pretty much it for my week. I mean, did catch up on Gotham, caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm actually more excited about... For once, I actually watched it live, which almost never happens with me because I'm a cable cutter. But I was actually in a hotel and managed to watch it live, and really looking forward to next week's, almost more than this week's. This week's was great. I think next week's is going to be a step above. So that brings us to news. It's GDC week, kids. And if you're not familiar with GDC, it's the Game Developers Conference. And I thought this year's GDC was going to be kind of a laid-back, quaint little thing. But let's talk about what we've learned so far. And, of course, the first thing that happened at GDC was HTC and Valve revealing the Revive, which, if you're not familiar, it is their virtual reality tech. And if you've not watched the video for it, it's kind of crazy, the specs. 1900 by 1080 in each eye, if I remember right. I'm trying to look up the specs right now. Valve's big announcement with HTC. The idea about it is that this is not going to be the poor man's virtual reality kit. This is going to be top of the line kind of deal. It's two 1200 by 1080 pixel resolution displays refreshing at 90 frames a second. It also will wrap around your entire field of view, meaning even back behind your peripheral vision. And then on top of that, whereas most of them are sit-down experiences, there are 2 Steam VR base stations that work with the Vive, and you'll be able to walk around and explore a virtual space of 15 feet by 15 feet. That's kind of interesting because nobody else is doing that right now. On top of that, this is the first one that's been announced that it will be released this year. It will be fall of 2015, not a developer's version, but the actual unit itself for retail this fall. And the fact that Steam is hosting the initiative for the software side of things, if you look at what's going on with the Oculus, there's no marketplace for it right now. There's no way that if I wanted to develop software, could publish it to a service and then have people go and buy it and download it. There is no service for that at this point. Steam is already there. It's already got the legwork. It's already got the groundwork. And to me, this looks like it's going to be a game changer for VR in the fact that they're going to be the first one to market, and they're going to be the high-end version as opposed to, I mean, if you get this and then you look at an Oculus, the Oculus specs are about half of this. Morpheuses are good, but they are not this. And there's no ability to move around in a virtual space, which I'm not really sold on because you could trip and fall on stuff if you're not careful. But the point is, it's something different. What does the panel feel? Is this good? Is this bad? Is it not going to make an impact? Is it going to make an impact?
Well, since it's coming out on Steam, I mean, we all know what that means. It means that people are going to wait for the twice a year where they have a big sale, and then they're going to complain that the sale's not big enough if it's not 90% off. So that kind of sucks for it. No? Nothing? Okay. You're not biting on that one? All right.
No.
You're right. I mean, I wasn't commenting. I mean, you're right. So
I think what's the interesting side of this is, though, is kind of plays into your snarky comment in that because it is Steam, they will put the hooks in it for every game, meaning that the library is going to be huge. Now, granted, the best ones will be built for the device from the ground up, but there are, playing a first-person shooter inside virtual reality would not necessarily be a bad thing either if it's done well.
It might be like, how you see 3D movies that weren't filmed in 3D and it just kind of looks like cardboard cutouts. Like, I mean, it'll probably kind of be like that, where it'll be an experience in VR, but it's like comparing Jurassic Park 3D to like, an animated movie in 3D that was actually made for 3D, compared to like something that was made 20 years ago and then just like post-production into 3D. So I think for games that aren't made for it, I don't think it's not going to be that great of an experience, just because I think it will be uber distracting, just like 3D movies that aren't made in 3D are really distracting. For stuff from the ground up, it could be really interesting. I mean, it all just depends on if people actually want that personally. I don't know.
See, here's the question I would pose to you. So let's take Project Morpheus, which is Sony's, which we also got the specs for at GDC as well. I've got it pulled up here. Give me just 1 second to pull up the specs. Let's see. It is going to be. Maybe I will eventually get it.
Can I just say something about the moving around the room?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's barking up the wrong tree, because there's like I know there's like two different kinds of schools of thought on technology for that. One's like the the free roaming treadmill, the 3D treadmill, if you will, that a lot of people are working on. I think Oculus has a big investment in technology for that. And then the other one is kind of like did you ever use those ski slider workout things? It's like a sheet of plastic.
An elliptical?
No. It's literally a sheet of plastic and some booties you throw over your shoes, and you do like this sliding kind of like, skating kind of thing. It's part of a workout. But it's basically a frictionless surface that it creates. So that's another thing where it kind of they give you like a frictionless surface thing to run on that keeps you in place, but you feel like you're going, and the technology reads like which direction you're going, and that's just way better and safer for VR in the home, at least, unless they can give you like an environment where you're not going to step on pets.
So this is the interesting thing. Sony's Project Morpheus is going to have a 5.7-inch 19 by 20 by 1080 OLED display. That's going to expand the field of view. enables low persistence, removes motion blur and flicker, and it outputs at 120 FPS. What's interesting is that it will not require a high-end PC to run. It will actually be able to just use a standard PS4 and output to the television at the same time. So when you're playing in VR, someone can be in the room watching what you see on the television. And that's native 120 FPS via the Morpheus from the PS4. They're saying they're going to do that with a software update. But this is the question that, going back to what Kate was saying. If I'm on Sony, and Matt, I know Matt's going to have a child to kick off his lawn in this debate. If I'm on the Morpheus and I have games that are built from the ground up only, and Matt is going to say that it's going to be the move of this next console cycle, in that no one will buy it, no one will play it, no one will use it, and because there will be this dearth of quality software, is that better that we get only things built from the ground up, or then we have a platform like Steam that, yes, you have those experiences, but if you want to play something else, whether it's shovelware or not, there's something else to buy on a regular basis for that platform, keeping it alive, that you can find certain good gems in, and here are, oh, by the way, these ones built from the ground up. Do you think it's better to have a only built from the ground up environment, or to have one where people have maybe more shovelware, but still something to play over time?
Can I honestly say that I don't care? It's like in the same category as like the Move and the Kinect and like, you know, Wii Sports, where they just kind of fizzled out because gamers don't want to move, and I have no interest in playing.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I don't know. I just have no interest in it.
Okay. Have you ever done it? I guess is my question.
No.
Has anyone on the panel done it besides me?
Done what?
The new VR stuff.
VR stuff. No, I've been trying to get an Oculus for forever, but those things cost way too
I
much
think
money.
the last VR stuff I did was down in Disney World with the Magic Carpet Ride thing, and what they call Disney Quest, where you jumped
I thought you were
on.
going to say laser tag.
No, we jumped on. Oh, that was actually cool back in the day. Because like they had like the adult night when you went in, and they shut off all the lights, pumped in a ton of smoke, blared Nine Inch Nails music, and turned the strobe lights on. So you just saw like lasers and strobes and smoke, and there's just
And half
Nine
the
Inch
people on
Nails.
the floor having seizures, and you had to not trip on them.
Yeah, but that was before
Did you run
lawsuit.
into people? Oh, okay.
So
I would just run into people.
I'll do you one better, Dave. In Chicago, they used to have laser tag academies, which were 3 stories tall, with all open in the middle, and they would do that exact same thing, pumping the smoke. That was the day before lawsuits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You could actually climb from one level to the other to try and fight people and stuff.
Oh, that's
I mean,
awesome.
and they would pump the smoke in so you couldn't see any fucking thing. And
But
then
you could see the lasers going down hallways.
That's exactly. You could see people dying.
Yeah.
People dying and people, things explode. It was great. Yeah, and they pump in.
Yeah. Stupid lawsuits.
Stupid lawsuit. But no, see, and I think that this is one of the hurdles that VR has, is that until you experience a modern-day VR system, you can't really explain with words how different of an experience it is. Because it is, by far and away, again, this is just my opinion and my experience, when I did it, it was very disconcerting at first, because I used to be one of those people that would go to the 80s VR arcade simulation places, and they were horrific, even though you were putting on 97 pounds worth of gear at the time. But these are light, and they are fully immersive to the point that it's a little disorienting when you are doing something with your hands and you look down and you're not actually doing it in the VR space. But it's very, very immersive, and I think the hurdle, as you say, is it's not going to be one of those intuitive things that anybody's going to care about until they do it once. But once they do it, then they're going to be like, how can we get this at an affordable price point?
So it's
I
drugs.
aside from the point where, yeah, we had this discussion earlier, I think that VR is the move of this generation of technology. It's an interesting thing. It's better than it's ever been, but it's not going to be good enough to hit mass market. To answer your other question, I think it's a much better experience when you have the stuff crafted from the ground up for it. You know, people are going to try and do stuff like play Peggle with their Oculus Nvidia HTC set, and it's going to cause, something's going to crash and somebody's going to die of some sort of terrible brain seizure that they have.
Did you just mix 4 major competitors together in one?
I did. But it's something's going to. I don't think it's not going to work well. I think kind of what Kate was getting at with the whole 3D in movies that weren't made for 3D is going to be, okay, I'm going to try and play a Call of Duty not 3D version with my 3D things, and it's going to just end up being TV screens really close to your eyes, and it's just going to be weird. So I definitely think the experience is like the Morpheus, where there's software from the ground up that's designed to use it, is going to be better, but I still don't think it's going to take off and be the next great thing. And the other thing I think it's a poor business decision to be bringing out the Ferrari of VR headsets out the gate front. It's going to be an entry price issue. It's going to be an adoption issue. And I think it's going to be the $600 PS3 kind of a thing where it might take off, but it's not going to be the one that everyone flocks to initially.
It's something that we're going to have to track over time, because now, today, as of the latest, John Carmack with Oculus says that they will be ready this year as well, but to me that just seems like them screaming, me too, me too, me too. So we'll see how that goes, but it's something we're going to keep an eye on. The other big news out of the show actually came last night, and I watched this live from my hotel room, and I have to say that it was a painful 3-hour live conference that Nvidia.
More painful than Xbox's E3 conferences? Oh snap!
I don't aren't that painful.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that painful. But Turo may disagree with us, but I will say that in this particular case, it wasn't that level of bad, but it was just there were some cringeworthy things that went on. But what it was basically they were introducing 2 major components, the first being called the Nvidia Shield. Nvidia did a 3-hour-long press conference last night. They said, we're going to change the face of gaming, and I will say that
was the most hilarious thing they've ever said.
Was it the most hilarious thing they've ever said?
Or was it the fact that they were like calling out, they're like, smart TVs have all these abilities built in, so we're going to offer you a box that does it, that you pay $200 for.
So that's kind of the gist of it, is when you start looking at it. First of all, it is a super thin unit. I mean, it is just about the size of it's half the thickness of an iPhone. It's very thin. It is tall, but it is whisper quiet. You can't hear it, and they demonstrated that during the press conference.
Look, as on top of that, it's proven time and time again, nobody wants a thin unit.
It is an Android TV. Let's finish
that
before.
Important.
Yeah, let's finish the description before we start getting into the debate. It is an Android TV device, meaning that it will hook up to Android TV, and you can purchase things and play off Google Play. But on top of that, it is also a gaming system that is roughly 5 times more powerful than the Xbox One. It does run Crysis 3. That was a big joke in the show. Does it run Crysis? Yes, it runs Crysis 3, and it looks to be pretty high resolution as well. And on top of that, the second thing they announced was a cloud-based gaming service that they were constantly saying is going to be the Netflix of gaming, yet did not release a price point for it. But let's back up and talk about the Shield itself. the Shield itself is going to retail for $200 with a controller. It will have 50 games at launch in May, including The Witcher, including Batman Arkham Knight. So they have gotten big-name developers, game developers, because their goal is to completely bypass the console market. And to me, and you guys can correct me if you think this is not right, but it almost looks like all the PC manufacturers are saying, screw the console market, it's time we make them irrelevant, it's time for the PC Master Race to become affordable. Because that's what this looks like to me, is a push from Nvidia to capture the $200 price point, which would be attractive to a console gamer, and say, no, look, it's a full PC that does Android TV at 4K resolution. So if you have a 4K TV, you can stream this right out, and it's going to be just what you wanted for your 4K TV. And it does gaming at super high resolution. And we have this gaming service that you can optionally pay for to do cloud-based gaming at 1080p, 60 frames a second over the internet. It seems like, really, to me, they're trying to, for $200 with a controller, with a game controller.
It seems like it's trying to do to the gaming industry what Netflix did to cable TV.
The problem, see, there's one problem I see that.
What's that?
See, and it's I don't know if Netflix had this at first or not, so this is my big wonder. Having a gaming service like Netflix would be phenomenal. You pay a monthly cost, you got a bunch of games, go have fun. That'd be great. That would be
if it has the support, though.
See, and that's the thing. Watching the movie and then taking millions of instances of that movie and shooting them across several areas is still lighter than taking a game and having a million instances of that video game.
So you can't say that this is not pioneered, though. Sony's already done it with PlayStation Now, and they said that they've been working on this for 5 years to implement the backbone structure for it.
They would. I mean, my whole thought on this thing is, how much power does it take to run one game? Yeah, there are supercomputers out there, which I even did research on one of them, that have literally petabytes of storage and literally,
I'm sorry. Did you say pedo bearers of storage?
Yes.
Just checking. Okay.
Seriously?
They have terahertz. Is that even a word? Terahertz of processing power, and they've got these stupid large motors. I still feel like with servers, as I've seen them today, this is a stupendous idea. But that's what it is. It's an idea.
So let's throw out some stats that they actually talked about last night.
Hold on a second. $10 says they're not building out a server farm or anything like that. $10 says they actually have some kind of spyware basically that's already installed in anything that drives an Nvidia card on PCs, and they're just going to be leeching off everybody's unused bits in their Nvidia cards. So it's very innovative, because they're going to be doing a whole mesh network of all the video cards, but instead of sending it out the SETI project, it's going to be going to the Shield project. So all 2 people that buy it, just because they can review it, are going to have great gaming experiences on it.
So no, what they actually are
Stop
doing.
Stop trying to make Shield happen. It's not happening.
What the factual side of it is they said that they have actually worked with Amazon for Amazon server infrastructure and delivery channels, and they are guaranteeing 150 millisecond latency.
Did Dave just call it the Ouya 2?
That's what he called it.
Oh, okay.
And that begs the question. Jojo X Gamer YT wrote in and said, "What do you all think of the Nvidia Shield console, and how do you think it will stand compared to Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft's consoles?"
I have to wait and see.
Yeah.
It needs to have the same support.
Nice. It's not going to. We've seen this time and time again. People were all excited about the Ouya. So excited. They had a huge Kickstarter. Everybody was freaking out about it. And then as soon as it came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, we just like the idea of it, but this thing is crap."
We didn't know you guys were gonna make it.
Super embarrassing. We thought we were just feeling good about ourselves, and now I actually have this in my house taken up dust.
So here's my question though, Dave. Did they have did Ouya have Konami and Gearbox and Crytek and many other PC Warner Brothers? Did they have all of those developers signed on for the launch of the console?
They had tons of support early on.
No.
Oh,
Did
those
they
specific
have?
ones?
Did they have AAA title studios signed on for content development at launch of the game of the actual games, not dumbed down ports for the Ouya?
See, that's the part where I'm really going to call out. I'm not sure if we're going to see, completely perfect ports of this stuff.
Metal Gear Solid 5 promised by Kojima's development team on stage at the press conference.
You said the magic word. You said Kojima himself.
Saying day and date, same feature set.
Yeah, he's
this device.
He's never broken promises.
I don't think it's gonna. Not until it has the same level of support from all developers as consoles have. Yeah, it's a great idea, but unless all developers start to shift, it's not going to be as successful.
I do have a question about the Nvidia name behind it. Since all those developers are behind it, are they behind the Nvidia name, or just because it's the name, or are they contracted somehow with them? And the only reason they say this is because they do have some sort of deal going on with Nvidia, and then they're just kind of stuck along with it, making this Nvidia Shield.
So a lot of the verbiage in the press conference last night was very telling. The basic gist of it is most of the developers are treating it as if it is a new console platform.
Okay.
So they are treating it in parity with Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft.
It's not just an Nvidia name kind of borrowing. Okay, got it.
And half of the developers are already working with Nvidia anyways.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Since they already work together, are they just saying, hey, we've already worked with them, they're on board, but just because they worked with them before?
But no, when you heard Randy Pitchford come out from Gearbox and talk about developing for the system, they all said, hey, we've had this in the office for months, we love it, it's a super powerful system, and it's a platform that we think will reach millions more people to help us sell our games.
Make or break thing. Does it have achievements? Trophies. Because that's where it's at.
Don't give me another system to do that with.
I know. See,
So
if it doesn't have those one of those things, something.
And all those people are work and live in places with gigabit fiber connected to their PC. So
Kansas City.
But you don't have to do that. Well, I'm sorry. You do if you want to download the games and play them. Yeah, off the Google Play Store or the Android Store. Yes. But as far as single-player content, they did not make it sound like you had to be connected at all points in time in order to play those games.
Their primary thing they were pushing is this streaming service, though, which you would have to be connected all the time for.
Yes, that was a secondary thing, not the primary. The primary was the unit itself. So, to go back to your question, Turo, I have not used the Google or the Android Play Store. Does it have achievements?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Well, then, yes, you have achievements.
Hooray!
That's what it is.
Okay.
They did not make a new operating system for this. It is literally Android running the Android Play Store.
Wasn't that Ouya, though, too?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So the Ouya had achievements and trophies and whatnot, too. Dang.
Yep.
I want to call it the Ouya 2 again. I think there is a lot of strength behind it, but that cheap price though, that's I think. But people who want to go for cheap, I don't think they're going to have super fast internet.
But see, that's the thing is it's cheap, and with the little bit of time I had in retail, cheap goes far.
Yeah.
So my only thought is, my biggest thought on this is, it's cheap. Okay, so it's got a lot of people behind it. It needs titles. It needs titles.
Oh, wait, the Ouya was $100 too. Dang it!
Exactly.
Also, the other thing that's missing is branding. Your average schmuck walking into Best Buy doesn't know Nvidia. They've never heard of it. They have no idea what it is. But they've heard of Xbox
I think
and they've heard of PlayStation.
Sorely mistaken.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I think-
You are the opposite, sir. It's the opposite way. PC Master Race is the prevalent one, and consoles are not the prevalent ones.
But would the
There
PC
are
Master
less
Race buy this console?
No,
There
or
are
are they just
less
saying
consoles
PC
in the
Master
world.
Race is still a huge subset of society. It's not. If I walked around town here and asked all 1,000 people that live in town here if 20 of them knew what Nvidia was, I would fall over gagging on my own spoon.
But here,
Why are you
here's
bringing
the
up?
situation.
Why are you bringing up PC gamers? This is not a PC console. This is not.
console.
It's supposed to be a competition for, though.
But it's not. It doesn't.
This is
run
not
PC
fighting
games.
PlayStation and
Android
Xbox. It won't win. It won't
Oh,
win
it's
against
fighting,
PlayStation and
fighting
Xbox.
computer? Wait.
This
what?
has to be a PC replacement system. This is not going to work in the console space. This is not going to be a console
Right.
competition.
It is not a PC per se. It is an Android TV set-top box
Right.
that plays games as well. But it is a direct competitor to the console space and not PC gaming. But
There's
it is
only one.
PC driving it.
Well,
There's
then
only
it's
one,
failed.
hold on a second. Let me just end this right now. There's only one group out there. There's only one group out there that's going to make an alternate console. If say a company like Steam made like a box, okay, you call it like the Steam box.
And it costs
that would
$2,000, and nobody's going to freaking buy it.
Oh, that's right. They even tried it and it failed miserably. It's not happening. Like, why are we wasting so much time talking about this?
I don't know. It's funny. I'm enjoying
There's
it.
just too many.
I'm not even drinking it. I'm like having a blast.
I just think there's too many. We have what? We've had.
There's too many shields. You walk into a store like, I want an Nvidia Shield. Oh, here's the portable. No, I don't want that. Oh, you mean the tablet? No,
Oh,
no,
I do agree with that
They're
wholeheartedly.
all the same.
It's a stupid way to do your naming convention. I agree.
It's horrible. They don't know what they're doing over there. They know nothing of what they're doing. Nothing.
Are they Jon Snow?
There you go. We're gonna get that on the box. We're gonna get that on the box.
You
They
know
nothing
nothing.
of what they're doing. Nothing, quote unquote. Dave from Gamersledge.com. 4 out of 5 stars.
I'll pick up one of these when they're like $20.
All right.
It's not even
All
20,
right.
man.
So they should just
Yeah.
rename it instead of the Shield. They should rename it the Jon Snow because they know now what they're doing.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. The Nvidia Jon Snow. I'll buy it then.
All right. So the resounding panel answer is this sucks and it's not going to go anywhere. We will see in May when they launch and see what happens. It'll be interesting to
They're
watch.
waiting till
If we remember.
do it tomorrow. Just get it over with. Just like taking a Band-Aid off.
Just release it tomorrow.
Seriously, why are they gonna wait to they're gonna ruin their quarterly earnings like later on? Just do it now so they can take the hit, get the tax benefits of taking the hit. Sorry, am I getting too real?
No, it's awesome. I just like calling it the Ouya 2 now.
It is. It is. It's exactly an Ouya 2.
Is it the Ouya squared?
Wasn't there an Ouya 2 actually?
Oh, what?
I think there might have been
I think there was an Ouya 2.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's coming out in May.
And people cared even less about that than the original Ouya.
Oh man.
There were so many people, hundreds of thousands of people wanted the Ouya, and it came out and they were just like, we were kidding. We really didn't want this.
You're $1 million worth of kidding. So just,
We love giving you all our money to make this thing, but we really don't want it.
All right. Well,
yeah, proof of
we'll not
America.
beat this
Moving
dead horse any
on.
further. So, speaking of successful gaming companies, Microsoft has announced that it is working on a hardcore game controller for the Xbox One.
Oh.
What are they doing that for?
The
It's
Duke is
made of
coming
Mountain
back.
Dew and Doritos.
Oh.
The Duke is coming back.
Oh gosh. I'll buy the Duke. That's
The
for sure.
Duke.
So there are not many details on this, but we do know that they are looking to unveil it at E3 this year, and that it will somehow target people who love FPS, first-person shooters, and driving
Duke.
games.
It's the Duke. I'm telling you, it's coming back. Remember how great playing Halo was on the Duke?
It was
Like,
good. I mean,
like
that's
the-
where I started.
Yeah, like the S controller, like had it over every other game out there and everything, and I love like the Xbox 360 controller, especially that one with the little dial plus pad. But
Uh-huh.
the Duke was for Halo. Like that just felt right.
Yeah, with the white and black buttons right there. I was
Yeah.
like, gosh, dang, that did
It was
feel
just
right.
big and heavy.
Does anyone else feel like this is another misstep in marketing message?
I don't know why they
Because
would do it. There's so many
Xbox
other
One
companies
is
that
supposed
make.
to be a gaming console already. So aren't you saying, oh, this really isn't for gamers? By saying, oh, we're making a hardcore game controller? Isn't that
it's gotta have
supposed to be the
special
Xbox
features on
One
it.
controller?
It just
Oh,
has to have
what's
special
different?
features or something.
I think it's going to have buttons under it. I've seen competitive controllers actually have buttons under it, so they don't have to move their thumbs
It's going to have
over,
turbo.
so they can. The turbo controller. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
Slider for turbo, slider
Oh
for
my.
slow-mo.
Exactly.
Matt
Oh, you win.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
next topic. Go.
No.
That was-
So the only other thing that I want to talk about, since you did bring up the Steam box, is that I saw the first couple media outlets get their hands on the Steam controller, and what I thought was one of the
Now
most
that's neat.
interesting I saw from multiple people was that on the Steam controller itself, where your ring fingers rest on the backside, there's actually a button there. And every single review I read said that they couldn't believe that wasn't the norm already because it was so natural to have the ability to do something with those fingers.
I've seen too many customization controllers having that added on there for either you can program it to have it be 2 buttons, and like hitting one button is 2 buttons, or having one that's closer to your fingers without moving your thumb. And so that's what it might be. And I don't know why. I don't know. I haven't messed with one. But everybody that has one, they're like, it's like anything else. It's nothing like anything else out there. So it's neat. And we'll see what happens.
So, Turo.
Hey, that's me. I just got done talking.
Do you like Phil Harrison?
The guy, Xbox guy.
Yes, he's the VP of, what is his full title here?
Only
Works
seen
for
it a couple
Xbox,
times.
VP of fucking
Yeah, I believe he's
thing.
VP of. Oh, he's head of. Nope, that's Phil Spencer. Yeah, I believe he's VP of Xbox.
Okay. What's he done?
Do you like him?
I don't know. What's he done? I just know he works for a company.
He's left Microsoft. Is the answer.
Oh, what did he do
it's
before
reported
that?
Today that he was VP of Xbox for 3
What does
years.
that mean?
I don't. Ask Microsoft, dude. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I probably won't see a difference. My game will still turn on when I turn it on. So.
No,
What else?
no,
What
he
happened?
was authorizing every single Xbox One turn-on power session. That's what he was doing.
Ah,
It's very
darn it!
powerful. That's what VP stands for. It's very powerful.
Then that does affect me majorly. I don't like this. So he left.
Yeah, so he's leaving after 3 years. They haven't said exactly why, but the rumors are that he was frustrated at not getting a promotion, whereas everybody else was when Phil Spencer was promoted to the head of Xbox, etc.
He's VP.
yeah.
There's only one more you can go. Right?
I'm not
Everybody's
saying I
a VP
understand it.
anymore.
Well, yeah, VP is kind of a
Senior
generic thing now.
VP.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Super executive, VP of VPs.
Or executive. What show did I watch and been like putting executive in front of something is just calling it fancy or making them feel better, but it does nothing. I can't remember. It was a neat show. Anyway, darn it.
So, Dave,
Yes.
have you ever played The Sims?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever put a Sim into a room
Oh, of course.
and
I've done
remove the doors and windows so that there's nowhere the Sim can go
Yeah,
and
I've
eventually
done the
goes
pool
insane and
thing.
dies?
where you drop them in the pool and you take out the ladder. Yeah.
Sammy says, who hasn't done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Electronic Arts did it to the Maxis today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they got Maxis too. First Bullfrog and now this.
That is correct. Maxis, the studio behind Sims and SimCity,
The
is
Bullfrog
being
and Syndicate
ripped
are
out
still bitter.
and closed.
Wow.
Wow, that was like their
Consolidating
cash machine.
Yeah.
Well, they're still going to continue making The Sims, but what was being done at Maxis will now be done in Redwood Shores, Salt Lake City, Helsinki, and Melbourne.
I'm sure it'll be
and
exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I
they
don't know
say
what
all
brought to it.
employees impacted by the changes today will be given opportunities to explore other positions within the Maxis studios and throughout EA. For those that are leaving the company, we are working to ensure the best possible transition with separation packages and career assistance. So, yeah.
So a good luck package.
Yeah, so our hearts go out to everybody there.
It's so unlike
obviously
EA to do something like this.
Yeah, we'll
You
go with
almost said that with a straight face.
Almost. I am so bitter about Bullfrog still, to this day. To this day.
That was a wow. That was a Matt facepalm.
Yeah, because, dude, Syndicate was so badass. That was back when I was a PC gamer. Syndicate. Like the real Syndicate.
You caused Matt to do a
As
full-on...
opposed to all the fake
face
syndicates out there.
It covered his old eyebrow
because
and everything.
They brought it back a little while ago, and they ruined it. Like, they do everything that they try and bring back, like, for street cred.
So Matt, you like Rock Band, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, EA got rid of that, too.
Coming back, isn't it?
That's gone. Again.
Well, I don't know. They've gone back to the shack. And what was the title of the other song? I forget.
All right, so this story is not about Rock Band, but it is about rhythm. It looks like that one of the ex-Harmonix programmers who worked on Rock Band, named Mark Fleury, who's a programmer living in Seoul, South Korea, and Brian Gibson, an artist at Harmonix who was one half of the noise rock duo Lightning Bolt, have been working on a rhythm game for the last 5 years, and it is called Thumper. And they actually...
What?
I thought you were going to tell me about the new Amplitude.
No, I am not.
Even though we know that's coming out.
At GDC, they announced their first gameplay debut footage, which looks kind of like a cross between F-Zero and Amplitude. That'd be a good way to say it.
This Bambi DLC.
It's pretty,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna
it's
make
pretty
that
interesting, but if you've not looked at the videos for it, check them out online. It looks like it could be pretty interesting.
Cool.
Hadn't heard about that one, so.
Let's see, PC gamers. I don't have anybody else to ask this one of. Hey, who am I going to ask? Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever play the PC game Gone Home?
No.
Well, you're not going to on PS4 either. How about that?
Bam, 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 bam.
Wah, wah.
So,
I'll have to kill myself.
a while
So
back,
sad.
the Fulbright Company, which is the developer of the indie game Gone Home for PC, announced that it was going to be coming to consoles this year. However, they caught up, DualShockers caught up with Fulbright's Steve Gaynor at GDC and said, hey, what's going on with the game? And he said, Gone Home for console is not actively in development any longer. This is most likely because the people that they had developing it is Majesco, and Majesco, if you have not been following, they are in a bit of troubled financial straits. And so most likely...
Just now?
No, not just now, for a while.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so they basically said, it's not going to come out, Majesco's not going to finish it. Now, that's not to say that we won't bring it out some other time, but we don't have any plans to do so in the works. So, and plus, they're focusing on their new game, Tacoma, which is coming out in 2016. So, I actually had been holding off. I have Gone Home on my Mac, but I'd been waiting for the console version to play it. But now that I got that news, I think I'm just going to try and head out and play the Mac version. So if you've been waiting, sad to say that will not be coming out.
The fact that Majesco still exists technically offends me. I'm just saying.
You know what? I hate to see these companies disappear. It was once something special.
Majesco?
Yeah, I think so.
When? Dude, seriously, Majesco? Come on.
Good stuff. I like
There's some companies that you're just like, you should be going, wow, how are they still around? It's okay to do that. I do that with Sega now, and I love it.
I was just going to say I do that with Sega, but that's about it. You took the words right out of my mouth. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
You like Metal Gear.
Oh, gee.
First one, sure.
So I know you're really anticipating the fifth one.
Oh, yeah, like
I
crazy.
saw that, and I went like this. Oh, wait, I have to make noise. Death rattle. That's what I said.
All right, so
I'm pretty
go
sure
on.
it's exciting for others.
So IGN apparently has been partnering with Konami to promote Metal Gear Solid 5, and there was a whoopsie, and they actually released the release date before they were supposed to. And so we now know that the Phantom Pain will be released worldwide on September 1st of 2015.
Yeah, I saw that was a worldwide release date, which I thought was interesting, but hey, that's cool. It's a big series for a lot of people, even people who hated everything that's come out since 3. Still buy the game and play it. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for the systems that it's coming out on. So I won't. Honestly, they lost me at 2. So 2 was the last one I played. So
What, Snake's Revenge?
No, that was...
yes, that one. Yes.
No.
We never said solid.
Sons of the
You are right.
Patriots.
You are right, sir.
Thank you.
It's solid, so you're correct.
Oh god!
I never played Metal Gear. I never played Metal Gear 2 either. I only ever played Metal Gear, not Metal Gear 2.
I have such useless knowledge.
I'm sorry, if you're going to keep saying the name of the franchise, you must say it correctly. Metal Gear.
Snake. So Metal Gear Solid.
Oh wait.
Series.
Oh no. Metal Gear.
Call me Pliskin.
I haven't smoked today yet, so I can't do that voice. But
so,
yeah.
One of the other weirder pieces of news to come out. I don't have anything. I don't.
You're the king of New York.
Interesting things. One of the most interesting things that I thought came out of GDC. This is probably the top piece of news that came out of GDC. Is that Drip Drop Games? We'll see Dave's pedigree. Dave, Drip Drop Games announced that they are remastering a lighthearted 90s fighting game. Can you guess the title?
Lighthearted 90s fighting game.
Lighthearted?
Killer Instinct.
Time Fighters.
Out there.
Arguably one of the most impactful fighters of that generation.
Oh, definitely Pit Fighter then.
You're so close. So close. Take it a notch up from Pit Fighter.
A notch up from Pit Fighter. It's not,
number 2.
and it's not Time Killers.
It's not.
Oh, step up from step up from Pit Fighter 2 is Mortal Kombat.
A fighter?
No, don't you even.
What? What? That's the lineage, dude.
No, you got to go.
If it wasn't for Pit Fighter, you'd not have Mortal Kombat.
No. Okay,
We're going in between there.
You're not getting it.
Okay.
Clay Fighter.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that was actually good.
Well,
Got it?
What?
I'm
No,
sorry,
it
I was thinking of
not.
crap.
Yeah, that was crap. Clay crap at that. What's interesting is that they're saying they're going to remaster the audio, high-res visuals, and they're going to add new gameplay mechanics, including double jumping, air dashing, counters, and reversals with unique supers and claytality moves for each character.
I loved those 2 games. They were fun. They weren't accurate, but they were fun.
My only real question about this is basically, this is actually being done by Interplay. We've not seen a successful launch of an Interplay title in
Since Clay Fighter 2. No, I'm kidding.
It's Rock and Roll Racing.
Judgment Clay, I think it was called.
2011 was the last game we saw out of Drip Drop and Interplay.
Which was what?
It was some kind of civilization kind of mobile game. I don't remember even the name on it. I just remember that was because I was like, oh, just like you were talking about Majesco. I'm like, oh, Interplay, still around? All right, sure. Yeah, but
at least at one point, Interplay made some good stuff.
I haven't seen them since Super Nintendo, really.
So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit to come out.
That is awesome.
GDC. So this is one of the things that I did want to take a moment to discuss also. One of the biggest pieces of news coming out of GDC was that Unreal Engine 4, which is the game engine development system platform, is now free for anyone to develop on. And
wow. So Human can come back.
for free. What's interesting is that they have moved to a when you win, we win type of model, which I think is very smart. Basically, they say when a developer ships a product developed in Unreal Engine 4, they'll pay 5% of the revenue they make after the first $3,000 per quarter. So if a dev makes a game but only grosses $2,900 in a quarter, they don't pay Epic anything. But if they make $13,000 in a quarter, they'd owe 5% of the $10K after the first $3K. So in that instance, $500. To me, that is such a smart idea.
Brilliant.
That means they've already recouped their cost on the development of the engine, and this is all just gravy money.
That's awesome.
It's
nice of them.
It's not only nice of them, I think it encourages new developers to jump into the game.
That's exactly what it is. There are a lot of people out there who just don't have. Okay, let me put it this way. I may or may not be still looking into game positions that are available, and may or may not. And
I just saw a tweet from Naughty Dog that they're hiring.
I got an email I didn't respond to that I should have.
What?
They said, yeah, I know. They said, "Oh, we have your resume, and we're looking into something," and I just didn't respond because I thought it was automated. But then, like a month later, I'm like, "Oh crap, it's from a person."
Oh darn it!
So just follow up with them again. Start mail bombing them every day. That's my suggestion.
I'm sorry.
So we will see Human 2 then.
Yeah. But no, one of the biggest things from all of the game applications I've shot out is they're always like, you need some experience in it. And getting an engine, a really good engine to do something with just to show them is important and huge. And to allow everybody to at least try is going to be awesome. Because getting a good engine behind you is quite a bit of the battle.
Cool. So it's going to be a turn of the century kind of gaming here in a bit. Maybe.
The indie, the free indie.
So, one of the other items to come out is, even though this wasn't technically at GDC, it happened the same time as GDC, and that is we got a new Mortal Kombat 10 trailer for the story. Revealed a handful of new characters as well. So right now the confirmed characters are Cassie Cage, Devora, Ermac, Farah and Tor, Goro, Jacqueline Briggs, Kano, Kitana, Kotal Khan, Kung Jin, Kung Lao, Quan Chi, Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Takashi Takeda. And we know Melina is in the game, but maybe not as a playable character. Baraka is a rumored character. Aaron Black, Johnny Cage, Shinnok, Sindel, and Rain as rumored characters.
Well, I mean, if we saw them in the story, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, we saw them in the story, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily playable. I would think they would do that, but
if they put in the effort, yeah.
If you have the assets, why not? I mean, it makes sense to me, but we'll see.
I honestly can't see Johnny Cage as being playable just because Sonya has all his moves.
You mean Cassie?
Yeah, sorry, Cassie.
I was like, what? Yeah.
If they want me to buy the game,
there's something we don't know.
If they want me to buy the game, Johnny Cage better be playable. That's all I'm saying.
So the interesting thing is they also announced a Mortal Kombat free-to-play fighting / card battler hybrid.
Oh no.
On the
iPad,
mobile.
iPhone,
no.
iPod, and Android devices.
So you
Oh
can.
God, no.
Yeah, and so it's developed by NetherRealm. So they were the ones that actually made this.
Oh
And they're
no.
saying that you can look forward to a hybrid of fighting, card collecting, multiplayer team combat, and
This is
all
gonna
the
be-
series' iconic fatalities.
This is a bad thing for me.
This is a horrible
gonna
thing
be
for all of us.
fantastic. So
I was
I'm
actually really mad at that the mobile reveal trailer, because it happened on the Monday after the story trailer, and I was hoping it would be something about like disassembling the story trailer, because there was just so much new characters and stuff in that trailer. And then it's like, oh, why are you trolling by releasing a trailer for mobile, you jerk?
Well, so what's interesting is they said, what's more, Ed Boon said, what's more, we've expanded the unique cross-connectivity feature that links the mobile and console versions of Mortal Kombat X,
That's awesome.
delivering unique rewards to all players for simply playing the mobile game.
That is fantastic.
That means I'll have to play it.
I'm actually kind of really jazzed about this thing.
That sounds awesome. What if you like played it enough times or got a certain card to have a certain alternative costume or a different character or something? That'd be cool.
Or what if you unlock a mobile fatality that you can then use in the
Oh
actual
my
game?
gosh. All we
They
need is
shot-
animalities. We
They
just need
shot-
animalities
yeah.
back, and that's it.
No, the mobile
Mobile-
fatality. I keep getting interrupted. The mobile fatalities are where they chop your bandwidth in half.
They use up hacker data. Ha ha ha.
And it looks to see what carrier you have, so it's like AT&T wins.
That'd be that'd be so cool.
Modalities, it's a new thing.
I don't want to think about it more, because then if it comes out to be something really lame, then I would be really disappointed.
I think
It's gonna
alternate
be
costumes.
something really lame.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if
Actually-
NetherRealms is actually making it, like they've been
Actually,
putting
they've
a
made
lot of
2
care.
games now.
They've been putting a lot of care into their stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine they would sit there and go into that lightly. If it's actually from their studio, if they're not farming it out.
They
Even
have
if they
actually
were farming
made,
out, they could pick up somebody good.
they have actually made 2 different fighting games using their mobile engine already. The first one was a Injustice game, and the second one was actually a WWE fighting game that had fatalities, and it's actually not bad for a mobile game. Both of them are actually pretty decent. I mean, they're not incredibly deep, but they're not bad for a mobile game. They look nice, and they have decent control structures. So I'm interested. I'm sure it'll be the same engine for this as well, except that we'll have fatalities in there also. So it could actually be somewhat decent. I don't think it's going to be like anywhere near playing the actual game, but it's something.
I want to say something about the story trailer too. This looks like, because they set the benchmark for fighting game storylines with Mortal Kombat 9. This looks like they're setting a new benchmark, like for story. Just the way they presented it, it just seems like almost is the depth almost of an RPG story. And it seems like all the characters that are going to be playable are going to be relevant to the story. So I think that's really cool.
It's gonna be a strange Shinnok Mortal Kombat 4 set in the future. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
While we're here, why don't we talk, Kate, about the Dead or Alive community controversy going on
Yes,
with Dead or Alive Final Round.
What's going on there?
It's last round, not final round.
I'm sorry, last round. I always do that.
So what happened was, if you read any of the articles that popped up on Kotaku, Event Hubs, like video gaming journalism picked up on it and ran with it. They keep saying the DOA community soft banned sexy costumes for offline tournaments. It was not the community; it was like 8 guys. So that's one thing I always have a beef with. Is like these essentially the regulars at offline tournaments decided that they were going to put in the rules a guideline for costumes that you could not use if you were on stream at offline tournaments. And it backfired in their faces because they wanted the whole point. I guess I understand the good intentions. Was DOA's got kind of like a bad rep for being sexy. They want to try and make it more mass appealing, so it's people won't make fun of it at fight because they're like, we don't got no fighting game community cred. No game has fighting community cred unless you're Street Fighter. What?
Isn't it this week that they introduced the destructible sexy costumes?
No, that's not till April. It's based on the Senran Kagura.
Right.
I guess it's a fighting game or is it an anime? I have no idea.
Destructible?
Yeah, well,
What?
costumes that get costumes that get ripped and stuff.
Oh,
Sexy?
Yeah, it's like you can.
Well, because I guess
they'll have the
if you look at I looked at trailers of Senran Kagura because they are Senran Kagura costumes based on the characters from that video game or anime, whatever it is. If you think DOA is lewd, Senran Kagura is like a million times more lewd. Like their clothes always rip off, so you can see their underwear. So
I don't
guess
know if
it's
it's an anime or not, but it's a game where basically demons have possessed humans, and the only way to beat the demons is to beat the clothes off of people
Oh, geez.
Oh.
that they possessed.
what was that?
Anyway,
Yeah, very lewd.
I'm going back to my initial point. The offline community wanted to try and, clean up DOA's image at offline tournaments by banning, like, pretty much most all bathing suits, costumes showed a lot of skin. They only did it for the female characters because there are some male character ones where they're essentially just in a tiny, tiny speedo, but you can play with those ones. It caused a big backfire because it's like, well, a lot of people have said things that I agree with, that, keep your standards to yourself. And DOA sexiness is kind of like Mortal Kombat violence. You can't separate the two. It's part of the game's DNA. It's like you were trying to deny that Mortal Kombat has violence the same way people pointed out. Just trying to ban the costumes isn't going to take away the sexiness of the game. And it's like kind of pretending that they don't exist or hiding your head in the sand about it. And it's also giving the idea that you're ashamed of the game that you play because you have to censor yourself while playing it. And that's what it boiled down to, was censorship. And a lot of people really disagreed that essentially these 8 people spoke for the entire community, where it's kind of like DOA is very upfront about that's what it is. And they're trying to appeal to people who aren't going to like the game anyway. Like, I mean, yeah, if you just see it fighting on there and then you buy it and you're like, what the hell's with all these sexy costumes? Like, I mean, how could you not know, A? But B, it's like, it just creates it creates a worse image than they were trying to get away from, because it's like you're censoring your own game. It's like you're ashamed of your own game, and then it depends where you fall, and it's like, it was like sexy does not equal sexist, but is it actually a sexist? And it just started a whole shitstorm. And that's kind of something that DOA community didn't need right now, because the game actually was growing at offline tournaments. I mean, yeah, people are like, wow, that's a really skimpy costume, but that's part of the game. That is what the game is, and if you're ashamed of that, maybe you should go play Street Fighter. But honestly, DOA is always going to be a niche game. And when you try to take niche games and appeal them to a mass audience, it never works, because you're taking away what makes it a niche game and what the niche audience plays it for. Personally, I don't really use the bikinis that often as costumes, but I started using them just out of spite, because I hate censorship. So I was just like, fuck y'all, I'm going to use bikinis all the time, and if I ever go to an offline tournament, I'm going to wear a string bikini. Fuck you. That's the way I think of it. It's just, I don't know. A lot of people think, oh, it's really sexist the way the bikinis are so skimpy. I don't think of it that way. I think of, who cares if they're skimpy? Like, the female body is not something to be demonized. Just because they're bikinis doesn't mean they're whores or whatever. But yeah, it's like most people, and it also did damage in an offline community, because the fighting game community for all fighting games isn't a very welcoming one. Like, if you wanted to go out to a tournament, it's very kind of inclusive, and people are always talking shit to you, and especially in my case, as a woman, it's very inclusive. It's very, like, you know, not inclusive anyway. If I went, I'd probably be called a bitch and a slut, and, you know, all this other kind of stuff all the time. That's just the way the community is. So, I mean, I don't know
I think that's a generalization, because I can tell you that the communities that I've played in, that is not the case.
But yeah, anyway.
I'm not saying they go out of their way to welcome newcomers. See you later, Nick. Not saying they go out of their way to welcome newcomers, but I can say that I've had a lot of positive experiences with. I've had negative ones too, but
this made it seem even more like, you know, if you want to use the sexy costumes, we don't want you at tournaments, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like 8 people speaking for an entire community.
So you can only use it when you're online?
No, this is for offline tournaments only.
Okay.
Like, you can use whatever you want online. But the way they first wrote about it was like a ban. As soon as you say ban, people are like, whoa. But it was more of a suggestion, and I don't know why they just didn't keep it as a gentleman's agreement at tournaments instead of trying to make a big deal out of it. Because making a big deal out of it put a microscope on the issue in a way it probably never would have before. And I don't know, it just kind of, like I said, it made them seem ashamed of their own game.
Yeah, because, I mean, seriously, if I can't be Sexy Bayman, I'm not playing.
You can, though. None of his sexy costumes are banned.
Oh, okay, well.
It's only the girls.
Oh, that's just crap.
And it's like, if you look at the actual costumes that were banned, some of them, it's like, they did a blanket all bathing suits. So, some of them have, you know, those, like, in anime you see they're wearing, like, the school bathing suit with, like, the really high neck, and it's almost like little shorts. It's like a blue one piece.
Mm-hmm.
They banned those ones. But then they have other costumes which show way more skin that are still, like, okay, but they banned this one just because it was a bathing suit. It's like the ban, if you look at the costumes, it's not consistent either. So it's just kind of like, whatever.
It's like the ban on assault weapons. If you really look at, like, you know, what they're banning, like, everybody is like, you know, oh, like, I support the assault weapon ban. And they're like, okay, what do you think it means? Like, oh, like, you know, really giant clips of ammunition and automatic weapons. No, it doesn't cover any of that. It just covers scary-looking things. Like, if it has a thing for a bayonet and a weird little stock on it, that means it's illegal on an assault weapon. Like, it doesn't make any, like, the laws don't make any sense for that. So, I mean, it seems like they're kind of going that route, which I guess, like, if they're trying to be official, that makes sense.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. They're sure they had good intentions when they created this soft ban, because they wanted more of a mainstream audience instead of people going, oh, it's just that booby game, I'm not going to watch this anymore, I'm going to go watch Street Fighter. But that's what DOA is. You can't take that out of it the same way you can't take the violence out of Mortal Kombat. And if you pander niche games to mass market audiences, that is the devoid of creativity, because you can't please everybody.
Yep, I agree. So we'll see where it plays out and how.
Well, we'll see next tournament. See if, like, because there's been talk that people are not going to go to tournaments out of protest. They want more numbers. We'll see. There's a tournament at the end of this month. So,
Dave, you like Amplitude, right?
He's gone.
Dave's gone?
Well, he's muted. He's muted.
Oh, he fell off. Well, fine. So Matt, you like Amplitude then?
We'll go with that. Sure.
Sure.
I love Amplitude.
Amplitude announced that the upcoming reboot will feature a team multiplayer mode.
Yes.
And team play will allow players to face off in 2v2 or 3v1 matches, and they are going to start showing it off at PAX East.
Yes, very interested to see how that's going to work. I mean, I've not played Amplitude, but I'm familiar enough with the basic concept to understand how it works. So that's actually very intriguing. It's either going to be amazing or suck dead donkey balls. There's really no middle ground for this.
Amazing. So hopefully.
I'm gonna go with amazing. I loved Frequency and then Amplitude. And then it just coming back is like me and my little brother's dream come true. So.
Well, yeah, the single player stuff, the stuff that we've seen before, that's going to be good. But the specific multiplayer,
2v2,
that hasn't really been I don't think it was.
That's gonna be awesome. No, it's always been like one versus the other kind of thing.
Right.
So seeing 2v2, that's gonna be cool.
Well, the 3v1 mode is actually the one that's got me the most interested because
It's like Evolve.
Evolve.
But good.
I was gonna call Amplitude Evolve.
It's like Evolve, but good.
Oh, all right.
that's what we hope. That's what we hope. That's the hope.
So glad I didn't buy it.
So speaking of games that we're excited about, Turo,
Yeah.
The Division is coming out supposedly this year.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna happen.
And Massive Entertainment, which is the developer behind the game, actually put out the first episode of the Division podcast. And they talked about where the game is at, and they said that they have external game testers coming in to play the game weekly, and that PvP has been a major topic of discussion because a lot of people are confused about how it's going to work. And the basic gist of it is they've said that there will be what are called dark zones, and in those dark zones, those will be designated PvP areas. So you will know, hey, you are crossing into an area that is a PvP area. So does that mean you have to do it? No. You can play the entire game without entering into a dark zone. So
you have to avoid those zones, or
you do not have to avoid them.
okay?
But there are rewards for going into dark zones. And one of the big things is that items you find in a dark zone will have something different about them. Once you find them, to make them a permanent part of your character, you'll need to go through a process called extraction. And once you've successfully extracted those items, then they are permanent from that point forward on your character, and you can never lose them. You can never lose them after that point, even if you go back into a dark zone.
That's
now,
awesome.
If you have a item that you lose because you haven't extracted it yet while you're in the dark zone in the first place, then you can actually lose them.
Wow.
So it sounds like you'll have more valuable items that you can find in these dark zones, and then the big thing about that, of course, is that Ubisoft Red Storm is the one doing the guns for the Division alongside Massively. So that's an interesting. We should have a large number of different types of guns. They're still not saying exactly when the release date is, but they did say that the Division's launch is sometime in 2015, and it's scarily close.
Awesome.
So hopefully, I would be surprised if they don't do some kind of open beta or alpha even before launch, so that they don't repeat the same problems that every other game this winter had. But I am very much looking forward to it, and we'll keep you up to date if there's any new information on the Division.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Speaking of Ubisoft, I'm pulling at you.
Yes, you are.
They said they're going to make Assassin's Creed games till 2025, at least.
And they'll be fantastic.
Yay!
Ubisoft Milan, call me
Not
back.
day one, though. Maybe after a month of patching, they'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I kind of figured that they were going to annualize it until it's dead. You know, and speaking of annualizing till it's dead, hey Matt, what did we hear about Guitar Hero this week?
It's back, baby. Yeah. So apparently, Guitar Hero is beating Rock Band to the punch by leaking the information that they are going to be having a game that is going to be officially announced at this year's E3. So we know we're pretty much sure the last two games and all the hints that were dropped by, or the last two downloadable tracks and the hints that have been dropped by Harmonix, we know they're coming out with something Rock Band themed. They're going to be coming out with an announcement no later than E3.
Yeah,
so,
for current gen consoles.
For current gen consoles. So what that's going to be exactly, we don't know. There's not much solid information about the Guitar Hero either, other than it is still a band-based game, and that
I know
it's
some solid information.
Oh, do you? There was not anything solid. It was all rumor and kind of innuendo, but
it's gonna suck.
Well, okay, there's that, but I mean that's just kind of a given, right? I mean,
wow, haters gonna hate.
I don't know.
Guitar
I mean,
Hero
started-
released another game.
The game that started the rhythm game genre.
Yes,
But it was
developed
people making
by
it weird.
Harmonix.
Exactly. So
And it became a soulless sellout cash-in version of itself after Harmonix left.
Oh, just because something becomes popular, it means it's sold out. Okay, I get it.
I can't think of
No.
Guitar Hero without thinking of the South Park episode of Guitar Hero.
is that the heroin hero?
That scene when they're in a
Yes,
restaurant
that
and the kid's just clicking, and people are like, oh, I love that song. Oh,
Does anyone else have any news items?
there's a
I had a weird transition, but I think it's really too late now. Say
Oh,
something.
so
about
it was the Microsoft story.
No, get out of here. You said something about something scarily close.
Yeah, the release date for The Division.
All right. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Turo.
Speaking of scarily close, they're actually coming out. Thank you. They're coming out with Poltergeist in the summer. It's a little bit of movie news. I know I was really hyped about that. So it's not coming out in October or later in the year. It's coming out in summer. So yay, a scary movie in the summertime.
I do want to make sure that everybody saw the genius Sony marketing campaign where they put up a picture of their blue and black controller and announced it as their new white and gold controller.
Oh, geez.
I wish everyone would just stop talking about that fucking dress.
That was the best thing I saw out of all of that. Let's go to reader mail.
Did you guys see
Oh,
the?
we have readers. You lied.
Did
You
it-
said
Yeah,
there was no
it
reader
actually
mail.
it came in as we were doing the show. So
Oh,
Did everybody see the supposedly leaked picture of Battle Cat from the Masters of the Universe movie? I had no idea was being developed.
We never
no.
talked
did
about
not.
the Avengers, really. We didn't delve into that more.
there's not much more to say that was already there other than the vision I had. about
We
the
have to
trailer.
Although
talk
there
about
is a-
Facebook,
there is a-
Facebook spoiled that, so it's not a spoiler, like, at all.
Is that the Soul Gem?
No, that's Vision's gem.
What do you mean we're not talking about the Avengers trailer?
There's an awesome picture out on Facebook right now of the Hulk doing a selfie during that one scene that everybody squeed so hard on. All that was missing was doves. But
Jojo X Gamer YT wrote in and said, "What do you think will be announced at Bethesda's press conference at E3?"
not
I
Fallout
think we all
4.
Not Fallout 4. That's definitely not.
Stop.
I think they're gonna do it.
If they
I
don't,
really do.
they're gonna have a lynch mob on their hands.
I think there will be a riot in the fucking theater if they
there
don't
will be if
announce
they
it.
don't, which is why I think they won't, and they'll be hilarious, and everyone will die.
I think they've locked up. No, honest prediction. I think they've locked up exclusive U.S. console rights to Mother 3.
No, you know what? They're bringing Fallout 4 only to the Nvidia Shield.
I thought they were gonna put up like the Fallout thing and then just Game of the Year edition.
I'm glad I drive hours back to do the podcast with you guys.
It's the highlight of your week. Admit it.
It is. No, I think they will announce. I think they will do it very, very simply. They will do everything but Fallout 4, and at the end, we will see the Pip-Boy and the
Somebody
number
will fall
4,
out of
and
the-
that is it. No, better yet, they bring out Fallout Boy to announce Fallout 4.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was amusing.
That's really our only piece of reader mail. And nobody else has any other news, so that's going to bring us then to final thoughts. Starting all the way on our far left, Turo, final thoughts.
If you want to, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 came out, and from what I've seen, and other people have said it's the best one. So if you want to try that out,
That's into shovelware.
Well, no, this one I was watching it and it seems awesome. There's only one animatronic, so if you want to scare yourself again, or just want to jump into the story, crazy lore that they've created at the internet, then yeah, go play that.
Didn't
Five Nights at
2
Freddy's
just come
3.
out like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. So yeah, it seems awesome. I've seen the video, saw the trailer. I was excited about it, and I just yeah, it's awesome. So go ahead, play that.
Final thoughts, Dave.
I have a vision of the future.
Oh jeez.
And see what I did there? It's awesome.
You've been doing that
Lego.
How many bottles of that stuff have you actually consumed during this podcast? Because it didn't look like that
24.
many. But
During the podcast was 3.
Before the podcast was 19.
it's 18.
No, we're fine.
No, he's not as drunk as he has been before.
He hasn't bought anybody anything yet, so.
He's referring to himself and the symbiote as we, so I'm a little concerned for him already.
He thinks he's Pope.
Final thoughts, Kate.
Free the bikinis.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Final thoughts, Matt.
You know, I get this just really bothered me yesterday, and I don't know why, because I shouldn't let it get to me, and I should just understand that the internet is full of unreasonable and angry people and just spewing hate for no good reason. But if you're paying for a service that costs you less than $5 a month, and you get up to 6 free games that aren't, just complete, shovelware mobile phone crap, shut the hell up and enjoy it or go away.
You should direct them to Kurt Schilling. That'll sort out their wagon.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, it came down to that whole, all these games that come out on Plus are crap, and the Xbox people are coming over and saying it's so much better over here than Xbox, and all the other, let's go crap, and then they're complaining about getting a 2D side-scrolling game, and then say, but look at Xbox, they got Rayman, which is a 2D side-scrolling game.
A great one.
It's a great one. I'm not dissing it, but I'm just, yeah, I'm done.
Some people aren't happy unless they're complaining.
And this is true. So, like I said, I shouldn't let it get to me because, it's just going to happen, and that's what it is. So, yay!
So, housekeeping items, do check out the site. We've got all our cosplay videos up. Make sure you look at the YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/c/gamersledge.com, all spelled out, GAMERSDOTCOM. Check out the cosplay videos. We've got cosplay dance party up there as well. We will have more coming up in a couple weeks. Like us, subscribe to us, of course, here as well. On Facebook, we're gamersledge.com/Facebook. On Twitter, just Gamersledge. And then I think that's everything. I don't know. My brain's fried. And then last but not least, my final thought, I will be in Italy for the next 2 weeks. The inmates will be running the asylum while I am gone, shepherded by Shepherd Book himself, Old Man Matt. And my final thought is I've been putting a lot of thought into what I want to do in the future after I get back from Italy. And I think I want a job cleaning mirrors. It's something I could really see myself doing.
I don't get it.
Until next time, game on!
Game on.
Game on.